Hey guys, Dave Moore, IWB.com, talking today about a holster that I think you're going to love. Today I'm talking about the Alpha Concealment Gryphon, so the down and dirty. This is for a Glock 19 with the Streamlight TLR1HL, a threaded barrel, ready to go for an RMR. It's got the concealment claw on it and the 1.75-inch overhook belt loops. So there are a few things that I look for when purchasing a holster or when reviewing a holster. It's the comfort factor, concealability, and ease of use. So I'm going to go through each category and break it down for you. With the comfort factor, you have a few things. Fit and finish is one of them. You've got your edge work, you've got your mold quality, and you've got your ride height. So diving right in. Edge work. You never want sharp and jagged edges. That is one thing that's going to make a holster very, very uncomfortable. Now, when I look at these edges, I run my hand across. There are no snag points, there are no hang-up points, and there are no sharp edges. Obviously, that's very important. You want it to be snag-free from your clothing, and also smooth enough that it's not going to dig into you when you bend over and move in your everyday life. These edges have been rounded over. They are smooth, they are clean, and they are done properly. So edge work on this is a plus. Another thing is mold quality, which is kind of more fit and finish, but the mold quality you obviously want to be molded properly to your gun. That way, it's going to just help with concealability, ease of use, everything. It's one of those things that goes hand in hand with the other. So, when I check out the mold quality, I insert the gun in here and that click tells me that it is properly molded to this firearm. Also, when you look at it, you can see all the nooks and crannies, all the details. So mold quality on this is very good. That positive click lets you know that as well. So now that we're talking about mold quality, let's go ahead and talk about retention. Obviously, you heard that positive click when inserting the gun into the holster. This one seems to be Goldilocks. You turn it upside down and shake it, it's not going to fall out unless you violently shake it. When you just give it a little tug, it stays in there, but once you actually want to get the gun out, it comes out with ease. That's big. Not to mention, there are some rubber buffers and screws here that you can adjust the retention. Now, one thing that I mentioned earlier was ride height. Believe it or not, ride height is a big thing. If it's too deep in your pants, it's going to dig into your leg and dig into your crotch crack, and it's going to be horrible. If it's too high, it's going to affect concealability. So ride height kind of goes hand in hand with everything. Luckily, on this, we have adjustable ride height. You've got 4 holes here and 2 screws on each side, and you can change the ride height. If it is not concealing well enough, you can drop the depth deeper. If it's digging into your leg too much, you can raise the depth. So you can change your ride height to either favor concealability or favor comfort, or find that happy medium like I have here. And actually, this is exactly how it came from Alpha Concealment, and it's at the perfect ride height already. So with all that being said, you know that this holster is comfortable, or I wouldn't be talking about it, to be honest with you. Next thing is concealability. Now, concealability, if that's even a word, is a big thing. Obviously, we are concealed carrying a firearm, so we want the holster to conceal the firearm. That's a big part. Looking down, there's a few things on here that help concealability. Number one, that adjustable ride height is a big thing as far as concealability goes. Number two, you've got your claw on here. It is set to the exact perfect height. A lot of times these things come too high or too low. The goal is you want this claw to cover the entire back of your belt. You don't want it too high, overlapping up into your stomach. You don't want it too low to where it's going to go underneath the belt. You want it dead nuts in the middle of the belt, and this thing rides perfectly. Also, I went out of my norm and I got the double overhooks. Now, I usually don't like these things, but once I put this around my belt, it was kind of love at first sight in a way. These things help concealment so much. It locks into place, it holds the holster down in there. You never have to worry about this coming out of your belt. Not to mention, since there are 2 contact points with your belt, it holds it that much closer to your body, and it holds it at the right angle. Then when your belt hits that concealment claw, it pulls that grip into your stomach and hides the gun even that much more. Also, a benefit of having these double overhooks is it keeps your cant exactly the same no matter how you move. These double loops keep that cant set. So concealment on this is a thumbs up. It is a very concealable holster. Even for a light-bearing appendix holster, they tend to be a lot more bulky than your normal appendix holsters. But I can conceal this thing, no problem, no questions asked. So the last category is ease of use. What that means is ease of drawing, ease of reholstering, and all that good stuff. Obviously, since this locks on your belt so well and the retention is set perfectly, draw stroke is easy. Comes right out, no problem, very smooth, straight up. The last thing with ease of use that you probably haven't thought of before is how is the top of the holster shaped. Obviously, you want it completely open. I have holsters in the past that are kind of curved, and it makes it hard to reholster. Reholstering is a big part of holster usage. Obviously, drawing it is the main thing to get that gun up and running, but you're going to have to reholster it at some point, and you want to make sure that it is as easy as possible. With that open design, no obstructions whatsoever, gun goes right in there and slides right down. So those are the three facets of the holster that I look for. Let's get into the negative. The first thing, if you watch my videos in the past, you know this bothers me, but it's not a big deal, especially if everything else in the holster is good, and that is the open bottom design. Not a huge fan of that. I like kind of a closed off design. So when it comes to the comfort factor, this could be a positive or a negative, depends on how you look at it and what you prefer. When the holster is in there, that threaded barrel is exposed. Now obviously if you're not using a threaded barrel, then this does not apply to you. But if you have a threaded barrel, this is something that can affect you. The threaded barrel is exposed. That tends to dig into my pelvis when I move a certain way. Now some people say it's more comfortable, some people say it's less comfortable. To me, it's a little bit less comfortable than having the barrel completely enclosed, but it helps remove some bulk from this holster. I would complain about it being open at the light side as well, but I really can't complain because the edges are smooth and it's just done well. Another negative to this would be the sight channel. It seems a little bit low. Now, I didn't request suppressor sights, so that one's on me, but these 10/8 sights barely just fit under it, but that also helps remove the bulk out of the holster like I've mentioned before. But if I ever get suppressor sights, they're not going to work in this holster. And the last thing, it's really not a con as much, but this claw is made out of Kydex, and it is a little bit more flimsy than your normal Raven claw. But I haven't had a break, I haven't had a bend, I haven't had a problem with it, so I can't really talk negatively of it. Not to mention, you got to applaud Alpha Concealment for making their own stuff and not relying on another company's products to make their own product. And that's really all I got, guys, on the Alpha Concealment Gryphon. Gets the thumbs up in my book. We all know I've got a bunch of appendix light bearing into waistband holsters, and I've only talked about 2 so far, this being one of them. So if you're looking for that deep concealment, that solid workhorse of a holster, go ahead and check out the Alpha Concealment Gryphon. Only 80 bucks, same price as all the other ones that are out there. The website is alphaconceal.com, and keep shooting.